Hey, everybody. So, this is 6 weeks or 7 weeks into the lockdown. I'm not sure how long it's been exactly, but I can tell you that I'm trying to stay positive. I'm trying to have a little fun. You guys probably have noticed that did a little karaoke thing at my house, and I did a dance night with my wife at my house. So, I thought this would be a great opportunity to introduce you to a friend who teaches guitar, because maybe you might think about taking up a new hobby, maybe playing guitar. Maybe you have a child that plays guitar or that wants to play guitar. So I'm introducing you to a really good friend of mine. His name is Pat Hurley. And Pat has been a guitar player for decades, is really a phenomenal musician, and he's a great teacher. And he's teaching people how to play guitar right now over Zoom. So even though you might not be able to do it in person, still an incredible resource. So please enjoy this interview with my friend, Pat Hurley. Hey, everybody, I'm back again. And I have with me another very special guest. This gentleman that is with me today, his name is Pat Hurley. And Pat is a good friend of mine. He's a music teacher. He specifically focuses on guitar, although he knows a lot of other instruments. And I thought this was incredibly valuable, specifically at this time, because, if you guys have been paying attention to me, I've been doing everything I can to try and be normal, right? My wife and I had a karaoke night here a couple weeks ago, and last Saturday we, I bought some disco lights out and we had a little dance party in my living room. And, we're doing our best to try and stay sane and safe and physically healthy, but also mentally healthy. Right now is a really great time for us to be thinking about taking up some hobbies, right? Some of you who, you probably have, dreamt of playing a musical instrument before. This is why I thought bringing Pat on board and talking to you guys about what it is he does would be topical for you. I'm going to preface this because I want to steer this in a particular direction. When I was 13, I was telling Pat, I took music lessons. I took guitar. My sister's boyfriend taught me how to play Stairway to Heaven when I was in Yosemite, and I just fell in love with the guitar. And I'm like, okay, this is great. I want to do this. Parents bought me a guitar, went to a guitar teacher. And over the course of the next month, this guitar teacher insisted on trying to teach me scale, wanted to teach me how to read music before he would ever teach me how to play a song. And I didn't want to take guitar lessons anymore. And so I stopped learning how to play guitar. And in fact, I had it in my head that you needed to know how to read music to even get any kind of a record deal or anything. And I'm just like, wow, this is just too confusing and too much for me. So talking to Pat, Pat is of the complete opposite belief. So let's listen to Pat for a minute. Pat, why don't you tell everybody, first of all, a little bit about you and how you got into being a guitar teacher, and then let's talk about your philosophy about teaching students.
Oh, certainly, yeah. My name is Pat Hurley, and here's how I started my guitar teaching career. I was in college, Saddleback College, attending school, and I was working part-time at a music store called the Music House, and behind the counter, doing instrument rentals, playing guitar in bands, and the owner said, hey, we have a lot of people asking about guitar lessons. We don't have a teacher. Would you like to teach? We have studios, and I don't have anybody I know, and you already work here. I said, sure, I'd like to do that. So I went into the studio. The store sent me a ton of people, and I ended up being the first teacher at the Music House. Loved it. I loved it mainly because I could share the knowledge I've learned with people, and I love people anyway. They're coming in nervous. They wanted to play this song for years and years and years. So I found a way to break it down in a fun lesson, tailor-made to them, easy, relaxing pace, no stress. And I started building a clientele. And that was at 19, 20 years old.
Wow.
I started my instruction career.
And you're kind of telling me, the way that you teach people is you try and find out as much about them first, because, you don't want to teach somebody how to, play country if they're, really into, rock and roll or easy listening. Why don't you talk a little bit about
Yes,
that,
yeah.
Pat?
When I kind of screen them, I'll ask them their background. Have they played before? What do they like to play? And they'll tell me, I like Willie Nelson, James Taylor, the Foo Fighters. It's important what genre they want, because if they're not sure what they want, I'll teach them all the basics. Once you learn the basics, you could play some easy country, easy blues, easy styles of different genres. So when I find out if they like rock or Motown or jazz, then I know how to steer them. And my first step is to teach them all the basics. Then I focus on the jazz side, showing them the jazz chords, jazz forms, and bands such as Dave Matthews, John Mayer, Steely Dan. I can go very deep in the jazz genre. And it's a joy for me to teach them what they want, because if you're doing what you want, you love it.
Sure.
You want to come to lessons and you love it.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. And from what I understand, unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there that can't go to work right now because of technology. You're humming along. You've got all your clients that you're still teaching on Zoom, and you still have a few openings for some clients, right? And so
Yes.
what do you do if they don't have a guitar, or if they maybe they have maybe they want to buy one? Do you kind of help them in that direction, or do you loan them one, Pat? What do you do usually?
Oh yeah. If they don't have a guitar, right now Guitar Center is still open, and they can go to Amazon and buy one online. I give them advice on what to look for, what to buy, price ranges. And the two items needed would be a guitar and a tuner. Nowadays, with high tech, we have a tuner called the Snark. It's a clip-on to your guitar, and I show them how to use it. They clip the Snark on, turn it on, and they basically tune the string until it goes to 12 o'clock. Easy to follow, and then they can tune up. Then, when we start lessons on Zoom, I basically email them the music sheets. They receive them, print them out, put them in front of themselves. They have a copy, I have a copy, and that's our syllabus. I make it real easy. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you, Pat, for joining us. And I'm sure you guys can get the feeling from listening to Pat. He's just a super nice guy. I've known him now for a couple of years, see him every week. He's just a really affable, super friendly. I don't think I've ever seen him unhappy, which really blows my mind, because I'm unhappy at least once a day. But Pat is just a super nice guy. So folks, if you have kids, that are bored at home and you'd like to get them started on guitar, I cannot recommend that you recommend highly enough that you reach out to Pat. I'm going to put Pat's contact information at the down below on the videos. So feel free to reach out to him directly. You can always reach out to me. Is there anything in parting you'd like to say to everybody, Pat?
What I'd like to say to everybody is we're having a rough time with this virus. We're all used to doing things live. And so a lot of people that have called me, finally they have a chance to get their goals done and play guitar. So now is a good time. Anybody who calls to set up lessons, because right now people are stuck working at home, whether they like it or not. There's free time. All my students are taking online school classes. So now is a good time to, even if you're not sure, test drive it, take a few lessons, try it. And then when the things open up, which we just heard Trump's speech, are going to be opening up soon, we're back to live businesses. And then my location pretty much is Laguna Hills and Santa Ana, two locations that I teach from, and Zoom, of course, right now.
So if somebody is interested in this, Pat, do you encourage them maybe to try a lesson, or do you have a one-to-one with them, kind of talk about things? How do you usually get started?
Oh yeah, if somebody brand new calls me, what I'll do is I'll set up a little meet and greet. Right now we'll do it over Zoom. I'll talk with them, get to know them a few minutes, and then from there, give them advice on purchasing a guitar or renting. That can be done too. Okay. And then from there, we set up the lessons. People that are not sure if they want to play guitar or not, I recommend picking up a couple lessons. You'll know within a few lessons, because guitar, which is a different animal, unlike piano, because I play piano too, the touch is light and gentle on guitar. when you play guitar, if it's nylon string, not so bad. If it's steel strings, they cut into you, they're a little bit of stinging. You have to break in, get calloused. And that's the only
Gotcha.
downside about steel strings. But they
Okay.
sound great. Steel string guitar. Electric guitar is super easy. You barely feel anything. So we've got those three choices: electric, steel string acoustic, and nylon string acoustic.
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, thanks again, Pat. And
My pleasure.
everybody, please stay safe, stay sane, and be nice to each other. Be empathetic. There's a lot of people that are having a very rough time right now. Take care,
Thank you so
everybody.
much, Barry. Thank you so much.
Of course.